Bangladesh's 13th National Parliament elections unfold, a key question looms large for the country's Hindu minority. What happens if Jamaat-e-Islami emerges with significant power or even leads the next government? Analysts warn that a strong Jamaat showing could mark Bangladesh's first major shift towards an Islamist-influenced administration in its post-independence history. This might push for greater incorporation of Sharia principles in governance, potentially eroding the secular framework that has defined the nation since 1971 and raising alarms about setbacks for women's rights and personal freedom. With that, let's take a look at what would happen if Jamaat is elected. So let me show you that, viewers. All right, we'll go back to the screen, but I have joining me Ambassador Veena Sikri, who's a former diplomat on the broadcast. Ambassador Sikri, welcome, and I'd like to begin with your opening comments.
I must tell you that the most direct visuals that have come from Dhaka and from many places around Bangladesh today morning are showing empty voting booths. The voting booths are completely empty. It is now midday it's well beyond midday. It's a lunch hour in Dhaka. It's 1:30 there, beyond 1:30 there. But nobody is turning up to vote. And this has been an amazing phenomenon that has unfolded itself. Everybody was discussing, oh, will the Awami Leaguers go to vote? Will they vote for BNP or Jamaat? Will the women go to vote? Will they vote for BNP and Jamaat? But there is such complete disinterest in the elections of Bangladesh that the people have spoken by staying away. And I've also got visuals of last night where some of the polling booths were busy stuffing the ballot boxes last night. And they were just saying, no, we're just helping the vote and so on and so forth. So there is massive rigging going on. And they're going to show a big result. There is every effort being made by the Yunus administration, backed by the Jamaat-e-Islami, to bring the Jamaat-e-Islami to power. In fact, we know that even in that transcript of the discussion released by the Washington Post, the American government seems to be supporting the Jamaat-e-Islami. And this seems to be a big potential outcome of this election. But if you have completely empty voting booths and these voting booths remain empty till the evening, how can they show any kind of result? Because they can't then declare a result of 50% and more. Mohammed Yunus is very keen only in the referendum, because with the referendum, he wants to change the constitution of Bangladesh and he wants to give the president more power, and then he himself wants to become the president. But the point is, the referendum is also a completely unconstitutional attempt. There is no provision in the constitution of Bangladesh for a referendum. Still, they are having a referendum. And then we saw yesterday and day before that the ballot papers for the referendum have no numbers. So it's completely carte blanche. As many can be printed and as many can be stamped. And I'm sure that the yes result in the referendum will be a whopping 70 to 80%. So, or maybe 90%, because they just are doing a fake show that the people are supporting the referendum and voting yes in the referendum. Again, if there are no people turning up in the voting booths, where is the yes vote for the referendum? And the referendum is such a fake effort. It has a list of 84 questions in 4 different segments, all for changing the constitution. And there is one yes vote to be given. Either, for all 84, you can't have any distinction between them. So it just shows the nature of the efforts being made to create a system which is non-constitutional, which changes the 1972 constitution, which forgets about the values of the liberation war, and trying to bring in a new regime in Bangladesh. But I think it is the people of Bangladesh who will have the ultimate answer and the ultimate response. And if they're staying away from the elections, it only reiterates that the entire events of July, August 24 was a regime change operation managed by the Jamaat-e-Islami. They are the power behind the throne with Mohammed Yunus as their spokesman. And behind the Jamaat-e-Islami is Pakistan, and behind Pakistan are the Western powers. So they have tried to create this myth And I'm really amazed that in an election where the single largest party, the Awami League, has been banned, the activities have been banned, they're not allowed to take part in the election. And then we have a situation where the Western countries are still calling it an inclusive election. What they will never accept for their own democracies, they're now imposing on Bangladesh. And saying, no, it doesn't matter if the Awami League is not there. The elections are inclusive if everybody votes. Now we are seeing that nobody is voting. So where are they left standing? Where are the Western powers that have been saying all these months, 18 months in all, that, this is absolutely fine, this is the people's revolt, this is the student uprising? Completely fake. It is not spontaneous. It is not a student uprising. No students are coming out to vote. And the NCP, which is supposed to be the party created by the so-called students who had the uprising, it has no support now. Even in the university elections done in Dhaka University, Jahangirnagar University and Jagannath University, the NCP had no support. They were nowhere, even in the universities. So, it just shows that everything has been created in a fake manner, the Potemkin village, just to show the world something, and behind this complete chaos. But I think the voters of Bangladesh will indeed have the last laugh if they stay away for the whole day. Half the day is more or less over.